Hi, my name is Jackie Kendrick, and I am a native of Conyers, Georgia. I am a purchasing agent for Emory Healthcare.
My name is Anthony Kendrick. I'm a native of Georgia also, born in Atlanta. My current employer is Sawyer Motor Freight. I'm a commercial driver and retired insurance agent.
Growing up, I guess, in high school, I didn't have a lot of boyfriends. I didn't do a lot of dating. My father was really stern and strict. I really didn't like for guys to come to our house because of my father. One or two that did, they were well-mannered, upright young men that carried themselves in a respectable way that I knew my parents would approve, or my father wasn't going to approve of anybody regardless, but at least he wouldn't bless them out. So I made sure that whoever it was, they had to have some of Alfred Hill's characteristics.
And in my upcoming years as a high school student, maybe only one or two girls that I was interested in. One I can remember was a young lady by the name of Pamela Thompson. She was a very strict, straight A type girl, with the A-frame glasses, I would say. Young ladies on that scale would interest me along those times. My sons say now when they look back, she was a goofy chick.
We met at Gordon High School, went to high school together. In the 8th grade, Mr. Ogletree's classroom, our chorus teacher, Anthony and I took chorus together, and Mr. Ogletree had this huge classroom with 2 doors. So every day at the end of class, Anthony would go out the end door and I would go out the front door, and he would meet me at the front door. He would be standing there waiting for me, trying to kiss me. And this was every day during our semester in chorus. And he would always say, "I'm gonna kiss you one day." And I would say, "No, you're not." Every day he tried to kiss me. This was in the 8th grade. 8th grade. He's trying to kiss me.
Some guys know exactly what they want. You don't ask a girl for a chance, you take the chance. And I had her mind made up. She just was unaware of it. I did kiss her. And after I kissed her...
Not in the 8th grade.
I did kiss you. The ringing in my ears after she slapped me, I couldn't make out what she was actually saying, but it sounded to me as if, come back later when you're more mature.
Back in 1979, they had a certain place, a spot, that we all met after a high school dance or whatever, so we met at McDonald's. I really, from the 8th grade to the 11th to 12th grade, at the beginning of the 12th grade, I didn't really see Anthony that much. I guess I wasn't interested in him, so we just passed each other. But our senior year, I think second semester, we just started, looked like he became more apparent to me. And we were at McDonald's and we were talking, and he was getting ready to go, and I said, "Bye, Anthony Kendrick." And he said, "Bye, Jackie Hill." And he said, "Wait a minute." So he came and he asked me for my number. And that's how we started dating. We broke up, and then at our senior prom, when I got there, went with some of our classmates, some girls. And when I got there, everybody was saying, "Anthony Kendrick is looking for you. Anthony Kendrick is looking for you. He's looking for you." So we talked that night, and we officially started dating that night at the prom. We dated for 5.5 years until he proposed. Throughout the dating period, we were young, trying to find ourselves. He had to venture out and date other girls and crush my heart. That was the challenge, more so than anything, was just really getting to that point where we grew up and we learned to appreciate one another and what we had. We didn't realize what we had in each other. But just venturing out and dating other girls, he was trying to be a player.
Well, there's trying to be a player and actually being one. I think I was one. And I graduated. My mother was a template in that respect. A praying woman, a very stern, disciplined woman, and also had a younger sister. With that respect, recognizing Jacqueline was easy because my mother was a template. Jacqueline having 5 older sisters. You could tell she was far more mature than most young ladies her age. And my mother had this saying, which I won't repeat the word, "Anything less than me, you don't have." And that led me to believe that it can't be less than my mother, the woman that I choose for myself. And one night, Fitzgerald's restaurant, West Peachtree, I believe it was. We were sitting there, we were talking, and I proposed marriage to her. She said, well, you have to speak with my dad first. This is 5.5 years of dating. Her father never spoke to me. She said, are you afraid to speak with my dad? I said, I'm not afraid of your dad. That led to me proposing to her and a meeting with her father and her whole family. And I proposed marriage before her father, and he accepted.
Truly, his mother, I give her credit for his upbringing because he was a gentleman from the very beginning. People kid with us today how Anthony opens the door for me and everything, but Anthony has been doing that since the day we've been dating, and he's been consistent with that. And he was always very well mannered. Whenever he would call, it was always please, may I, and all of that. And I could instantly tell that he had great upbringing. My family was always impressed with his proper manner. I knew that his mom, somebody had taught him something very well. And though my father did not speak to him, he didn't speak to anybody, not one boy, but though he didn't speak with him, I could tell that he saw something different in Anthony opposed to any other boy that may have come by. We've been married December 1st of last year. It was 29 years. 29 years. We've been on a journey in our marriage, but when we got it now, we know that without God, nothing is possible. It takes going through to understand with Him, you can make it, but you cannot leave Him out of your marriage. The flesh is weak in many ways, and when the flesh get upset, the flesh will react in a way that's ungodly. Because of our upbringing, we had great role models. I had wonderful role models, my parents, because I watched them and how my mom took care of my father and her family. In our marriage, I knew that this is what we had to do. We had to get into the Word of God. We had to grow together in the Word of God. We had to learn to pray together in the Word of God. So when those trials came, and they did come, there were some very difficult journeys, but we knew that God was going to get us through it.
Prayer, preparation, and opportunity.
A couple of my favorite things about Anthony that really, to me, is attractive to me is his gray hair. I liked it when his beard was full and everything because that gray is it was so distinguished looking to me. That's very attractive to me. And his smile is very warm and attractive. And his inner spirit, what I love about his inner spirit is his compassion. His compassion, not just for me, especially for me, but I see the compassion he has for many.
I would say the most exhilarating aspect and features about my wife is her youthful spirit. She's a woman, I know she is, but I always call her girl because she's so gleeful. She's so bountiful with energy. And it's just overwhelming, like a volcano. It's just spontaneous. And with her zest for excitement, her energy with new ideas, her willingness to learn, and her willingness to always correct me without mispronouncing a word or in my walk, in my dress. So that type of spontaneousness about her excites me more than anything. Now, with my wife's physical attributes, I can't really say on camera, but she is fine. Yes.
If I had an opportunity to sit down with a young couple or a couple that is preparing to say their vows, I would encourage them to make sure, number one, that they go through marriage counseling. This is not a play thing, and it's not as simple as it might appear. I think it's very important that you sit down, go through counseling, and even through your marriage, connect with couples, mature couple, not any couple, but mature couple that are mature in the marriage and that have your best interests. That's very important. It's very important that you keep people out of your marriage. If they don't mean any good, friends, family, keep them out. Always keep an older, mature couple that you can go to that have your best interests. Most importantly, you cannot make it without God. And you must pray together daily. That is important. And we adapted that many years ago. And I can tell you, every morning, getting up, praying together as a couple, as a family, really has helped us to grow spiritually, and it has bonded us. And I just thank God for that.
With respect to any young couple, be it the beginning of dating or contemplating marriage, prayer, preparation, and opportunity, you have got to stay under God's construction at all times. You will not make it. Clearly, you won't. the problems that you face, and you will,
Yes.
they're not as big as you think they are. With prayer, they can be diminished. He will divert your attention away from that which troubles you until calmer days and calmer waters. You can do it. You can make it. Someone else is not your fault, not your problem. You have to pray to God and ask Him for leadership and guidance.
Again, my name is Jackie Kendrick.
My name is Anthony Kendrick, and thank you for listening to Our Love Story.